Own a word, own a category. Hey everyone, it's Canon Wing from Inspiration to Millions. Many of my clients have this one question on their mind: how to come out of nowhere and take this market by storm. Each has a unique product and a unique set of circumstances and a unique set of ideal individuals that they want to reach and inspire. So while you may think there can be no one-size-fits-all kind of answer, there are in fact some ideas that hold true whatever your circumstances, whatever your product, or whoever your ideal individual may be. And today I'm going to talk about what I like to think of as the golden rule of branding. If you're more Lucas inclined, you might say the Jedi mind trick of branding. And I mean that. You do this and no one, and I literally mean no one, can hold you back from conquering the market. You will rule. You will become an example for branding success stories. Every brand that has achieved this has been a market leader for years, decades even. And I'm super excited to tell you how you can do it. You're likely wondering, what is this magic formula for success? In simple terms, it's owning a word. Better yet, owning a category. In the minds of your consumers, Jedi mind trick. Let me explain. What word comes to mind when you think about Volvo? Safety. What about Mercedes? Class. What about Lamborghini? Fast. Each of these brands owns a word in the minds of their target audience. Once a brand takes hold of a word, personifies a word, owns a word, it's close to impossible for another brand to take it away from them. Today we're going to talk about how you too can own a name in the minds of your ideal individuals. And we'll do one better by talking about how you can own an entire category of products and services. So let's jump right into it. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing, said Tom Fishburne, veteran marketer and cartoonist. And he's right. The best brand marketing is when the consumer, when the customer doesn't feel sold to. He doesn't feel pushed and shoved and jostled and coaxed, manipulated into buying something. And a number of brands have achieved this so elegantly that not only do they rule their market segments, but also personify it to the extent that they have become synonymous with the market segment themselves. They inspire their consumers to see this word that they own in their own mind every time they see their branding. Think about this. When was the last time you asked to see inline skates at a store? You most likely asked to see rollerblades. What about asking your assistant to get you a photocopy? Did you just say, get me a Xerox? How often are you asked of our pharmacist for Band-Aids? You're not asking them as if you don't know the brand, right? This is a brand name. It's not just the product of what a Band-Aid is. So you would never say, can I get an adhesive bandage? How often have you had Jell-O as opposed to gelatin dessert? Oh, pass me a Kleenex. Hand me the Scotch tape. Ever say Google me? I can go on and on. You see how these brands have come to own, even personify the category that they operate in, to the point that people forget they're actually brands, not common nouns like we tend to use them. They're unbeatable market leaders. And you know what? You can be one too. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Ben Franklin gave us that gem. And I think he personifies hard work and enlightenment. Let's look at 3 such brands that have done so much to write about. Brands that either words or categories are theirs and their target customers' minds. What word comes to mind when you think of FedEx? That's a simple question, right? Overnight. When FedEx enters the market, Emery was the market leader. It offered overnight, 2-day, 3-day, small, medium, large, simply any kind of courier service, right? Their tagline was, whatever you want to ship, Emery can handle it. Clever. FedEx struggled to create a niche for itself for a while. And then, in a brilliant move, CEO Fred Smith took the direction to narrow their focus to only overnight deliveries. They targeted that like a bullseye. They became the best at that. They personified that. FedEx tagline, the first one when it came out, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. Today, FedEx owns the word overnight. It's become synonymous with overnight. It's become a generic term for overnight deliveries. FedEx me. FedEx these documents to LA. Send it FedEx, right? Oh my God, I forgot to get these out. FedEx them to my blank, 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 right? These are conversations that happen in offices all over all the time. FedEx became a market leader in the overnight delivery business in the 70s, and this has not changed in the 50 years since. That is some amazing staying power, considering all the new technologies that have happened in the last 50 years. Let's consider another market leader in its segment, Google. We say Google things all the time. When was the last time you asked someone to look up something on a search engine? When did Google become synonymous for search or look up? We don't say, let's Bing this, or let's DuckDuckGo that, or I forget what some of the old ones were. Let's Earthlink it, Netscape it, Yahoo it, right? For rather obvious reasons, we don't say, let's dogpile that. Or maybe we do, just a very few of us. The fact is, we Google whatever we need to know. Google owns the search engine category. Google personifies it. So much so that it's been officially added as a verb to the Oxford English Dictionary. Nice job. To Google means to search for information about someone or something on the internet using the search engine Google. That's the definition. And how did this come about? Apart from creating superior algorithms and constantly updating it for the most stupendously performing core search engine, right? They've got what it takes. Google developed or acquired and offered a slew of useful products and services for free to its user base: Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Slides, Calendar, Google Drive, Google Hangouts, Google Translate, Google Maps, Google Earth, Google Street View. I mean, it goes on and on. Google Photos. It's hard to name them all in one breath. And there are more. Google reinvented the search function by analyzing the relationships among websites to determine their search engine ranking as opposed to other search engines that just considered the website content. It continues to reinvent itself. It continues to evolve in intuitive ways that keep pace with changes in tech. Google kept developing and improving its algorithm to beat spammers, stay a step ahead of people out of the game system, right? The result was quality search results. People tried and people stayed. People never looked elsewhere, and if they did, they came right back. And it's every entrepreneur's dream that their name, their brand, ends up becoming synonymous with a category of products without even setting out to. Though generic is a disliked word in the world of branding, becoming truly generic in the sense of becoming universally recognized is respected. Really, what's it all about, right? Is to own a word, to own a category, to put that in the minds of anyone who sees you like that. Consider the iPhone. Maybe Apple didn't prefix all of their products with an I with this idea in mind, and yet the lowercase I prefix has become representative of the most exclusive, advanced, and reliable products and services, the best in class that you can buy without giving it a second thought. Over time, the iPhone has become synonymous with phone. This was by design, by the way. That lowercase I is with quality. Dare you buy something else, you'll have people snoring. You don't have an iPhone, right? And people like very snotty about this. A phone is assumed to be an iPhone. When you say, let me get my phone, people assume that you're going to produce an iPhone because, well, what else would anyone want to buy? Here's a great quote by David Ogilvy. Great quote. Don't bunt. Aim out of the park. Aim for the company of immortals. So you're inspired to own your own category. Make it your own. But hold on. It isn't as easy as all of that. Thing is, you're rarely, if ever, going to be the first to do what you're doing. Coca-Cola has become generic In that way of thinking, a Coke is representative of having a carbonated cola-flavored drink of any sort, right? In the US, Pepsi never became generic in the way that Coke did. Quite simply, Pepsi came later into the market, and Coke already ruled. My point is that if you're not the first in your category, you can actually create a new category for yourself by narrowing down and concentrating your focus on one aspect of your product. FedEx was hardly the first courier company, but it was the first to become the overnight courier company. Your product may have plenty of great attributes. For instance, if you're baking and selling a very tasty cookie, it may be a good cookie for several reasons. It may be delicious. It may have that lovely crumbly texture. It may be preservative-free. The packaging may be attractive, like it's some sort of gift. It may be like environmentally friendly. Okay, so what is that one defining quality that you want your admittedly great cookie to be known by, like the cookies grandma made, in which case you focus all of your attention on the incomparable taste and texture. If marketing the cookie to a health-conscious parent, you want to stress the preservative-free angle, right? You want to capture the imagination of your ideal individual in a way that no one has thought of to do yet. You want your brand to be able to inspire certain thoughts, ideas, emotions in your ideal individual. You want to be able to do this within the context of their requirements, their needs, and aspirations. Those ideas and emotions need to correspond to what your ideal individuals believe about themselves. You want your target audience to effortlessly create an association between your product, the emotion it represents, and their own personal desires. Right there, that is the aspirational arc that you want. Fun fact, there are about 2.5 million registered trademarks in the US, and the average vocabulary of the human being is 50,000 words. Now, you can see the importance of reducing your brand to a single word, to one attribute or quality. It may involve some internal sacrifice because you want it to say everything, but it means greater focus and targeted results. If that cookie becomes firmly associated with the word like delicious or healthy or eco-friendly, that's your cookie owning its category right there. Don't think in terms of percentages and market shares. Think instead about how big a market you can create for your product simply by ensuring that you're giving your ideal individuals that one thing they want, something your brand represents better than all others. Great execution is the ultimate differentiator. This is Margaret Malloy who said this. So do this now. List out 3 words that could be associated with your brand and narrow your branding focus onto only one of them. Then express that through your name, tagline, story, everywhere. So your name, tagline, they don't have to be one word. We're talking about getting your focus on owning that concept in their mind, boiled down to one word, so that when people see you in the first 5 seconds, that's the time you get before they delete or dive in, that word comes to their mind. Think about it. Does your brand make a word or an emotion pop into the minds of your ideal individuals? Do you know what that word is? If you can't put your finger on it, go back and refine your brand messaging until people can say, that's where they are. That's what they do. This will inspire them to leap over all obstacles to buy and drive right into your brand. I say this to all my clients. If it ain't got heart, go back to the start. It's all about emotion. What your brand really is, it's an emotion. Of the 3 words you brainstormed, or the 5 or the 25 that came out, which is the emotional one? Focus on that one. To own a word or a category, you need to reach the hearts of your ideal individuals first. You need to get them emotionally invested because that's the hook that will truly let you own your own category. Thank you for joining me today. Before I say goodbye, I want to leave you with this one last thought. It's a quote by self-help author Tim Ferriss. I'm sure you know him. Think big and don't listen to the people who tell you it can't be done. Life's too short to think small. The only thing holding you back from making your brand own a word in your ideal individual's mind is your own limiting belief. It's been done before, it can be done again. You too can own a word, own a category for your brand. Get that Jedi mind trick of branding. Build your brand with inspired passion, purpose, and presence. Love what you do, love how you do it, and nothing will stop you from becoming an inspiration to millions. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll love.